This month edition on the Manager's Conclave. This is a place where strategies are developed, leaders are created, and quality team players are birthed. Every organization wants to hire an individual who can take full responsibility on every action taken. Are you the best on your team? Can your organization place a bet on you and you won't let them down? The community includes many side events such as team building, lectures, discovery, networking, and much more. Everyone is welcome to join the community. Improve your skills for excellence and enhance your team bonding character. It all begins with you. Welcome to the Manager's Conclave.
Good evening, everybody.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Opina.
Actually,
Happy to have you again.
yeah, that very program was my first time attending the Manager's Conclave, and I must say it was good. I really had some issues settled out with my clients and all that. I came to understand how to deal with a client that is not communicating properly and how to go about it. And I must commend the speaker of last week for how he went about talking about the need to communicate in an organization. I say kudos, it's a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I remember the question, how worried you were, and thank God we got a positive feedback. So thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Opina, for those feedback. So we just push up from here where we expect others to join us, but like we said, we are not waiting for anyone because we really want to work with the best time we have. So now today we'll be accessing a new topic, another topic which is very essential for everyone because we all work in organizations, both small and big, and we have to deal with people. And within people, there are things that you can't avoid, which is what conflict. There must always be one thing or the other because people are from different backgrounds, from different environments, from different exposure. And when you come together, there will certainly be a clash which must be resolved. So this is where the importance of having this topic comes in, where we're able to bring resolution. So this little conflict. So here with me is a wonderful friend of mine. I've always boasted of her in several stuff, and back then in the industry, we have worked together. She was actually one of the people that put me through some aspects. She puts me through some aspects, and I used to call her my teacher. Like, I call her my teacher because she is amazing. She's amazing. And here with us, she's going to take us on this topic, and I want you all to have your daughter around you. Please give her the best encouragement. Use your best exciting emoji. Support her and listen to what all she'll be giving us. Like I really picked a lot from the pre-section we had, and I know she's here to impact you with something massive. So please, I know she don't really like me saying much. I'm trying not to say much, but I have to say this. So she's coming all the way from Money Point, and she's one of the lead and team lead, meaning that she has a lot to do with working with people and a team. So I please want you to pay attention, and at this point I'll give her the floor, and the floor is hers. So use your best emoji to welcome on stage our own Miss Adora Ichendu. Thank you.
Yay! Good evening, everyone. I just want to be sure if you can hear me. I see that somebody can hear me. So, good evening, everyone. It is good to be here. Ebenezer was overhyping me. So, regardless, we move. So, my name is Adora, and I'm here to have a conversation with us so that we'll gist together. And what this conversation is, it's not something out of the blue. It's not even a big deal per se, because it's something that we meet on a daily basis, if not daily, weekly basis, if not weekly, monthly basis. And today we're looking at conflict resolution, creating a conducive atmosphere for the team and organizational growth. The truth is that we cannot do without conflicts because no two persons are same and no two persons think alike. Even identical twins, as much as they look alike, there are things that are different around them, and you know, because there are things different around them, they see things differently, and from time to time, there just might be altercations. So the question now would now be that, and particularly in the place of work, that's the finest place where you find conflicts. And beautifully, I think it started in the house because there is no way, there is no place here on earth that will not find conflicts. And it's important that we resolve them accordingly. At home, at school, at work, particularly at the workplace, because many of us now we um we are dependents. I mean, dependents or independents? I don't know the words to describe, but we are people that are doing a few things to, put food on the table and take care of our loved ones. So especially in the place of work, whether business or a regular 9 to 5, there will just be conflict. So let me go on to speak. So what do you define as conflict resolution? It's that process whereby a situation or a disagreement or a dispute between two or more persons are resolved in a constructive and amicable manner. Emphasis is on constructive and amicable. Conflict resolution has to do with settling disagreements or disputes between two people or more persons in a way that the two set of people or the three set of people in this category feel better after you have resolved it. So it's important that while we want to resolve conflicts, we must address the root cause. For me, the root is the base of any issue. So we must address the root cause, understand the perspective of the involved parties, and find mutually acceptable solution. So we need to find a solution. It means that when it comes to conflict resolution, there must be a compromise somewhere. You know, sometimes, like I said earlier, conflict resolution is between two persons. At other times, it can be between three or more persons. Personally, I like conflict resolution between two persons. So, Obina has offended me. Obina, I'm going to be picking on you this evening. In my mind, I'm confronting Obina because that's the easiest way that I think I can feel okay about it. Now, I confront Obina because I don't like what he did. So, if Obina and I are wise enough, we can settle it between one another. But if I'm coming at Obina and say, Obina, you know well. Sorry, guys, I may have to speak pidgin at some point. And Obina is like, Adora, you decrease. At that point, we are not listening to one another. I stopped at Obina. And if Obina now says he's not going to listen, he's going to change for me back. It means that we may have to involve another party. So that is when conflict goes beyond two persons. But personally, I like it only when it is me and somebody. I really do not like keeping things in my heart, and I don't think anybody should. But it is important that we approach the matter seriously and with some form, I was going to say with a pinch of salt, but with pinches of wisdom. So, and so, like I said, we need to find out the root cause, understand perspective, find mutually acceptable solution, meaning find a middle ground. Okay, Adora, I think you ought not to have told him he's stupid. I also think that even if Adora was irrational, maybe you could have been a little calmer. Two people cannot be angry at the same time because you are the more matured one. You can deal with it more amicably. That's you staying, not supporting one side against the other side. It's us finding a middle ground, trying to mention where this person got it right, this person is right, where this person can make an adjustment, where the other person can make an adjustment. So conflict resolution involves us making compromises, finding a common ground, and finding mutually acceptable solutions. Now, in conclusion, for this page, it says effective conflict resolution aims at preventing escalation, restoring harmony, and promoting collaboration and understanding. So now, if myself and Obina we resolve our dispute, you see that we will be able. The matter does not have to get to the MD anymore. Both of us, we are good with one another, and we can work together and have understanding. So now I'm going. This is me, Adora Ichindu. And I just thought to give us a slight view of who I am. So I identify as a multi potentialite. I have multiple interests and creative pursuits around various fields and disciplines. Sometimes I feel like a graphic designer. At other times, I'm fascinated by Nike jerseys. At other times, I just like watching football. I just do too many things at a time, and I think that because I have so many interests, it's usually a challenge for me to focus on one thing at a time. But then, as I see life, it's important that at one point, I probably focus on one thing. But I'm a very curious person. I'm the kind of person that you tell, sit down, and I'll ask you, please, why should I sit down? As against sitting down. That's how curious I am. Or I could sit down in the light of being obedient, then probably say, sorry, oh, I thought I should ask, why did you ask me to sit down? And I like knowing things, so I read books a lot, maybe not a lot again. I don't like academic books, so but maybe regular things, surf the net, and all of those things. Me, I'm a Christian, oh, and I'm on a journey with God. I worship at the Elevation Church, and I serve in the children and teens ministry, and I work with young women, helping them to be better. I'm a banker by day. At first, I was a teacher for 5 years. That's why Ebenezer says I'm his teacher, because I teach exceptionally. I hope I'm not overhyping myself. And I used to work with SCMB, First City Monument Bank, and I'm now with Money Points. Enough about me. So let us talk about the myths about conflict. Me, I grew up per se, my person, I grew up in an environment where it is wrong for me to be offended. You know, and that's addressing myth number one, that harmony is normal, conflict is abnormal. Meaning that if I say Obina, okay, let Obina rest. Now, if I come and say Ebenezer, in short, I hate, in short, Ebenezer, I hate you. It feels that it is abnormal. But no, no, it's okay for me not to like Ebenezer. It's okay for me to not like what he did to me yesterday. It's a very normal thing. The only problem is how we address the issue. So in reality, conflict is inevitable and is a normal part of every cycle as far as relationship is concerned. But today our focus is on the workplace. So conflict is inevitable. So it's normal. So I like to tell myself, no, it's not. It is normal. Number two, me, it says conflict should not be escalated. So I am upset about what somebody did to me at work. I should swallow it. That's what. So that 20 years from now, I'm sick. And what happened? High blood pressure, low blood pressure, hypertension. Because what? I did not escalate it. And in reality, it should. It should. So if I don't like something, if somebody does not like something I've done, they should be able to confront me. They should be able to say, this conversation, this stuff, as far as work is concerned, I don't like the way Adora addressed the situation. I don't like the way she talked about it. Those are the things that we should embrace. Embrace. All I also emphasize is that there just has to be wisdom in the way we address it, so that it doesn't grow worse than it used to be. Next up, managing conflict should be orderly and polite. Well, I'm an ambassador for politeness and orderliness. But in real life, you and I will agree that sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes when somebody is trying to be nice, you'll be over packaging the truth. Like you're not saying it the way it is. You are just tilting, you're just probably going through the sunflower effect. For instance, I'm in a meeting with my line manager and every other person in management, and we are discussing, okay, this is where we are here at Money Point, and this is where we are going to. And I'm listening to what they are saying, and I'm like, I have a contrary opinion, no, Shay. And I'm like, okay, but then I've not now learned the wisdom of talking. So I now stand up and I say, see, Boss, it's very absurd, very annoying that we, at this point in our life, we are making decisions like this. I don't think, see, boss, whoever suggested that this is the way we should go left. That person said it's not correct. I think that, boss, we should just be tilting right and move to center. Omo, the truth is that I've hit the nail on the head. Yeah, but the truth is that it's not always the best opportunity, best form. But in reality, there are people that talk like that. So we should expect people not to have enough lakaye. I'm speaking about lakaye. Lakaye means enough sense to, to be very orderly. So sometimes conflicts are disorderly, they are chaotic, and they are confusing. The other myth that I'm coming to address is that people say anger is the primary emotion of conflict, and it's a lie. And it's a lie. It's just that most people see anger and they categorize on it, but it's not. Beyond anger, there's irritation, there's aggravation, there's sadness, there's hurt, there's concern, and there's disappointment. So I can raise up and say, see, boss, I don't agree with you because I feel that this thing will not go down well with our customers. Or somebody talks to me in an unfair manner. I'm hurt, so I'm confronting you. I don't like I don't like how I feel about how you said what you said. So it doesn't just stick, it's not just anger. There are so many other factors which I have mentioned. The last but not the least myth that I'm talking about here will be that there is a right way or there's one way to resolve it. Now, like I mentioned in my second slide, there are so many ways. We don't even need to have a right or wrong person. We just need to find a middle ground and magnify where this person was right, where the other party was right, what the other party, I'm not even saying what the other party did wrong, but we are addressing what the person could do better and the same. So it can be a win-win situation for us. It doesn't always have to be a win lose or a win loss. So now, what are the steps to resolving conflicts? Because resolving conflict, see, let me go back to this other slide. So they said managing conflict should be orderly and polite. As far as you are working in Nigeria, as far as now is concerned, I think that you should be orderly and polite though. Not because this is why I say so. When you are in Rome, behave like a Roman. When you are in Ibadan, behave like somebody from Ibadan. Here's why I'm saying it. I'm saying that because the Nigerian space is a very unique space. And if you come forth as unpolite or impolite, that's the word, or disorderly, and especially if the person you're talking to is your line manager, they're going to take it personal with you. If you are very lucky that you have a line manager that is very vocal, your line manager will say, you know what, Adora, I don't appreciate the fact that you're addressing me as a donji. I don't like the fact that's what your line manager. But if the line manager is somebody I don't like talking but has you in mind, that line manager is going to do everything possible to ensure that you are frustrated on the job. How do I mean? During appraisal, for some reason, you know that we are not perfect as human beings. There are certain things that we do right, there are other things we do wrong. This line manager will capitalize on what you have done wrong, and that's what they will use against you. Titi lie lie lie. Until maybe you until so imagine you need appraisal to get promoted, and that's what most companies do. So maybe the scale is from 1 to 5, and if you hit 3, your chances what's the word? Your chances of being promoted is increased, and your line manager puts you on a 2. Year 1, 2, year 2, 2. Where are you going to? You understand? Where are you going to? So it's important that in the workplace, whether you are doing a 9 to 5 or you are working with people and you have clients, it's important that you find a way to address the situation. Like I like to say, the customer is always right, my line manager is always right. So the point question is, what are the steps to resolving conflicts? So, like I earlier said, our first assignment will be to address this notion that we've always had that God forbid, why should we be having conflict? It's a lie. It's not a taboo. As long as we have people from diverse background and culture, conflicts are bound to happen. I don't like amala and ewedu personally. If I see it, I'll do ew. Does that mean that amala and ewedu does not make sense? It does, but I just don't like it because I'm from a different background and a different culture. So now it's important that to manage conflict, we must address the root cause, like I mentioned before. Address it. So what exactly is the problem? What exactly is the problem? But before we go ahead to ask questions on what is the problem, it's important that we wear the empathy cap. Empathy cap has to do with you putting yourself in the other party's shoes. So let me give an example of a situation where one is wearing an empathy cap. Me, I'm pissed with Obina, and I'm like, Obina, see, Obina, I'm picking on you again. Obina, see, I don't think that your head is set. I think that your head is correct. It's not correct. I think your head is under your shoe. And you're like, what? And you, Obina is not coming down. That if I give this girl, according to this manner she has given me, or more, I don't think any of us will recover. So instead of Obina giving me back, as I'm giving him back, instead of him to give me both, he's sitting there to say, but it's not how Adora is normal. What could be the problem? Did she have a bad day or a bad night? Did her boyfriend serve her breakfast? That's you wearing empathy. As against saying, Adora, is he a drugging man? In short, you are not alright. I think you're very, I think you're very, 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 very stupid. Empathy has to do with you saying, Obina saying, Adora, I don't appreciate your approach. But I guess that shit happens, but I do not appreciate it. So Obina has dealt with the issue, but he's coming with a more subtle tone as against, I think you are not right. I think you're very, very, very stupid. Very, 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 very stupid. So empathy is important because it helps. And once you're able to understand the problem's origin, we can then find a common ground. So a common ground. So resolving a conflict has to do with compromising. Find a common ground. So Adora, move from where you are, come and meet Obina. Obina, move from where you are, come and meet Adora so that we can, meet, propose solution, implement it, and ensure that we monitor the process over and over again so that we don't repeat the same mistake, so that we learn from that experience. Do I have any? Okay, good, very well. So I'm almost done with my slide. I don't know if we have questions. I promised the visitor that I was going to make it as short as possible so that we can address questions.
Philip, you can go with your question. Thank you.
All right, good
Hi,
evening.
Toby. Good evening.
Yeah, hi, Adora, good evening. I first and foremost, I love your presentation. Thank you
Aww.
for this. And my question is this. Now, you said in resolving conflicts or
Yeah,
issues,
yeah,
all right, we must uh, know the source,
yeah,
right? Now,
yeah.
good. And in order for us to maintain orderliness too. Now
Mm,
let me ask this question that okay, what if you want to address an issue, but that issue, there's a saying that says we laughing we will in Yoruba language, right? Sorry for
yeah.
the non-Yorubas,
Help me
right?
interpret, Joe.
It's not what
Interpret.
yeah,
It.
like it is you use madness in resolving madness.
Yeah.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
now in a situation whereby you use strong head in order to tackle another strong head. But you
Mm-hmm.
must maintain orderliness. How do you go about it?
Hmm. You use strong head to tackle strong head, maintain orderliness. My point is that, hmm, okay, very brilliant question. So, for any conflict to be resolved successfully, one person has to calm down for the other. So, if I come out with you with weary attitude and you give me back weary, chances is that both of us will not hear one another. So, until one of us agrees that we will calm down, that conflict will not be resolved. So it's at this point a third party can come in, because the two parties are crazy enough not to agree to one another. That's where a third party, most likely somebody that the two crazy people respect. So once that person is there, that person is now the common sense between the two of us that refuse to listen to one another. So if you bring Were out to me and I give you back bass and goes, the truth is that, except I agree that let me calm down since I'm the more matured one, quote unquote, and let's hear your ground. But if that do you get my, I don't know whether this answers
I
your question.
understand this perspective, but let me do it in a practical way. Let's say
Very
Ebenezer and I, right? We
mm,
are, let's say, should I call it siblings, or let's say, okay, let's just say friends or colleagues, right? At
yes,
work. Now, Ebenezer is, let's say, my senior, or my, yes, let's say my senior colleague, right? Now, he's doing something that it is against, let's say, the company's rules or this thing, but
yeah,
because he's the senior person,
yeah,
right, he wants to use his authority. So me, I'm now saying, this thing, no, you cannot do this. I cannot agree to for you to do this. All right. And I know that he is stiff-necked, right?
yeah,
I know that he has strong head. Listen, and
yeah,
I don't want to compromise my own two standards,
yeah.
right? So I need to, and I must maintain orderliness. How do I go about it?
Okay, so because you must maintain orderliness, number one, you must maintain orderliness. You cannot come to Ebenezer with a weary attitude. That's what I think. um I'm saying that you can say your prove your point, you can be firm and yet still be subtle about it, because he's your senior colleague. Do you understand? So now we're talking about the orderly way, then we hope that Ebenezer will listen. But if Ebenezer does not listen, because you must not compromise your standard, you want to check to report him to somebody, but you want to be sure that the person that you want to report him to is not the same person that is in the same alignment with Ebenezer. Do you understand? So two options. It's either you talk to Ebenezer calmly and hope he listens. If he doesn't listen, look at who is at the top and see who is at the top. Okay, this person is at the top. This person will listen to me. If you think that the person at the top is equally as corrupt as Ebenezer, no shade to Ebenezer, you're not corrupt. If you think that person is as corrupt, my line manager or my mentor will always tell me that, Adora, they don't bury your placenta in that company. If you see that the team wants to stain your white, can you start looking for work elsewhere? That's the only or the other options I have. So first approaching, because he's your line manager, I think it could also be a Nigerian factor, or not maybe a Nigerian factor, an ego factor. Maybe Ebenezer wants to listen to you, but because of the way you're talking to him, he's not going to answer you. I've been in cases like that where somebody is asking me to do something and the person is telling me, Ada, why not do it like this? I say, from where to where? Nikini, I will not do it. Now, not because I don't agree with what you are saying, but why would you approach me in that manner? Show ni lakai. You don't have sense. You don't have manner of approach. So there are different angles, but if you must win, you may have to follow a subtle approach and look for somebody who is higher, who sees who sees like you see, who thinks like you think, that can now call Ebenezer to order. I don't know if this addresses your question. Toby?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ishola, Tobiloba. I really appreciate that question. Thank God we were able to tackle the question. So please, do we have? Can we take one more question before we move on in this section? Do anybody have one more question? We want to take one more question before we continue this section. Okay, Mr. Marvelous, do you want to say something?
I just wanted to impute, as in,
Okay, go on, please.
more.
Go on, please.
Adora, first of all, thanks for the presentation. Like, it's been very enlightening. And when it comes to conflict resolution in an organization, like you said,
Mm.
once the root cause has been determined, when two people are hot headed in a conflict game like that, there's no there's no communication. Do you understand? They can't communicate if two people are like at aids. Do you understand? There has to be, that's where empathy comes in. And somebody has to just be the matured one and put yourself in the other person's shoes and the origin, what is actually causing the issue, because there has to be a cause. Do you understand? And once both parties can find a common ground and probably that avoiding escalation is very important. Do you understand? Because we know the big sometimes we know the beginning of conflicts, but we don't know how it will end. So, do you understand? So being calm and just as in being calm is very very, if we are going to be good team player, in short, conflict should be like below average game for an individual. So I don't, if you get the point.
I get you, marvelous. You are very, very correct. See,
Yeah.
you are very, very correct. And I wanted to add, in addition to what you've said, if you are in the workplace, it's important that you understand, you read the room and understand the politics around the workplace.
Yeah.
No two companies are the same. The truth is that you may be very right, you understand, but everybody is wrong. But as long as they start hearing noise from you, it feels like you are the problem.
Exactly.
I'm telling you. So no matter how your ideas may be brilliant, as long as they've lived here, okay, you just joined 2 months ago. For the last 6 8 months, they've not everybody has been comfortable doing the wrong thing. Nobody has raised any escalation. But the moment you that you are very, you know what is supposed to be done, and you start and they start hearing, they'll be like, the normal human sense will calculate that marvelous is the problem. Oh. And would may not, even when you're trying to explain, you're like, no, prior to now we have not had this issue, you are the problem. I think marvelous, when you get to a new company, you should learn how to be calming down. I think you should want to be respecting your superiors and not have to, before you know it, you'll be tamed the bad egg in the team. So it's important that in Nigeria, like I said, when you're in a room, you behave like a Roman. In Nigeria, in a traditional setting, you play your cards and calculate it well. Have you not seen cases where an older person and no matter how right the younger person is, they say, "Why he is older than you? How can you talk to your older brother like that? How can
Yeah.
you your older?"
In some cases, it's not even about you. It's even about the person most of the time. Like
Yeah,
that's just it. It's never about you. So being calm and being very understandable and seeing where the other person is coming from can be a game changer in a thing.
thank you so much, Marvelous. You are very correct. Very, very correct. I celebrate you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Marvelous. Noah, thank you so much. So I think at this point, Adora, you can go on with the floor so we can conclude and maybe take one more question before we call it a day, right? So you can go on, please. Thank you.
Okay. So during the pre-session, Ebenezer asked me two questions. Um, and the first question he asked me was, how do you how do you cope in an environment where you have a narcissistic boss or a narcissistic client? And I told him, and what I told him is what I'm going to say. There's an adage that in my own hometown that says, I'll speak in English. The bird is allowed to build its nest anywhere, but it will not build it on my head. So if you have a narcissistic boss, there's just one way about it, or maybe two. Personally, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So when I do that, if I see that I have a boss that is so full of himself or herself and personality and all, and I have an idea, but this person keeps shutting it down. First thing I will do is give this person benefit of the doubt, and that's just once. I will approach boss. So boss, I'm here because the other day. Now look at the angle I'm coming from. I'm coming from our boss. The other day you spoke to us about having a clean decks policy. So in line of that conversation that you had with us, something came to my mind, and I'm thinking that going forward we should do things this way, this way, this way, that way, that way, that way, this way, this way. Now that's approach one. Approach two could be, boss, good morning. I have update for you. I think that going forward we should be doing this way. The way we have been doing it before is just not adding up. It's not making sense. It's not sitting up well. You know, except the narcissism of this person is that bad. Even with, because if you look at the options I gave or the approaches I gave approach A being taken using your line manager's orga or your boss's orga to hit the point. What you have done is just make the line manager or your boss feel good about his or her idea before, you're making it look like it is his idea. Meanwhile, you are the generator. The reason why I'm saying that approach is a better approach is because not all bosses, most bosses have technical depth. They know the work, they know how to get it done, but not a lot of them know how to manage people. So it's our responsibility as individuals to manage our managers. So that approach is a better approach. But if you come with the straightforward approach that, see, boss, how long have you been running this process? Look at the way I'm sounding. How long have you running this process? My boss told me 2.5 years. I say, boss, how can we be suffering for 2.5 years? The truth is that if you're not careful, and if this your boss's mindset has not been renewed and the maturity is not that strong like that, the person will think that you're insulting his or her intelligence, and will play the person will downplay you, all the rest of you staying in that place or in that company or organization. So my point is, if you approach a more subtle way, making the idea sound like it's your boss's idea before arriving at your destination, and this person still does not listen to you, the next question you ask yourself is, why did I come to this organization? What exactly am I doing here? Now, if you can answer the question, for somebody like me, I've been in a similar scenario where my boss did not just listen to anything I had to say. And the question I asked myself was, Adora, why are you here? Are you here? So at that point in time, I was there because I needed the money to pursue a degree. So I told myself, what are the chances of you getting a new job right about now? Slim. Why? Because I don't have the quality for the kind of work I want. So I said, I will endure what has to be endured, pending when I'm done. And that was what I did. So I endured. The moment I got my quality, I carried my bags and I left the organization. Simple reason. They did not bury my placenta in any organization. So if I am working with a narcissistic boss and I try to be calm about it, I try to be polite about it, respectful and orderly about it, and this person does not listen to me, I carry my bag and I go. That's the first question. To address the second question that a business sent to me, he asked me how do we deal with the politics in the workplace? Um, and I like to say it, politics is not that bad. It's not that bad. Politics is not bad. You can quote him anywhere. The only problem with politics is that the people that we have seen practice politics are people that, after they've said what they will do, they do the opposite. What exactly is politics? Politics is knowing your way around with words as far as addressing people is concerned. The only problem with Nigerian politicians is that they come in the next 4 years. Agbado will be 1 naira. Free education for all. The road will be tarred. There will be job for everybody. That's what they do, or what they say. Then when they come in, the cost of petrol moves from 200 to 900. People cannot pay school fees. They are introducing student loan. Life is not easy. So politics is not bad itself. It's about us knowing, like I said earlier, it's our responsibility to read the room, understand that good intentions are not good enough. So our approach is important. Like I mentioned earlier, it's important that when you study and read the room and see how it works, don't hate the player. Don't hate the player. Just hate the game. How do I mean? These people are like this. Shit. Oh, voila. This is what they want. I will do it. And you get progress. You find out that in an organization, the person that gets the promotion sometimes is not the most hardworking person. No, is the person perceived by the HOD the team lead to be hardworking that gets the reward. On that note, I'll call it a day. I don't know, Ebenezer, was I able to hit the nail on the head as much as possible?
Yes, yes, you did. You did a great job, Miss Adara. I really appreciate this. Okay, are you done with your slide at this point?
I'm done on my slide. The only thing I have left is a thank you.
Okay, so
To
thank
as
you.
much as possible.
Okay, that's good. So please if you're excited with all you have learned so far, all you have heard, please kindly use your best emoji. Let's see your excitement to know you actually got value, you actually got something. Please let me see your best emoji, please. Your best emoji, please. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, like I've always mentioned that the idea of this is to impact ourselves. How do we become the best manager in our organization? How do we stand out? And I keep saying this thing that the vision of this vision actually came from a side of experience, and that side of experience is what we don't want others to also fall into. So out of the words of experience, we are bringing together people in the top management industry who also have track record of going through experience and overcoming those challenges. And that is why we are here. And I'm so glad that Miss Adara Ichandu has done a great job, and she has helped us to understand the place of conflict and its resolution in dealing with the conflict. This means that after now, we don't expect any of you to fall victim of the challenges that comes from conflicts in our working with team players, working with organizations, meaning that we are to take this to a point of view so that we can stand out wherever we are. Now, one of the things we are looking at is to be excellent. One of the things we're looking at is to be excellent, and being excellent comes by understanding and getting the right knowledge. So, thank you so much, my teacher. I'll figure IP in another conference. My teacher,
Please, somebody should ask Ebenezer what I
yeah,
taught
like
him.
I said,
Ebenezer, what did I teach
she
you?
should I start? Should I start?
Start now.
we, we won't close. We
Excuse
won't close if I
me.
start. So let's keep it out of here. So I won't expose you too much.
Expose. So, but
But okay,
Ebenezer, please give me a second. So,
yeah,
I just want to just say one thing. One thing is that for every one of us, chances that we have worked under unwholesome leads or unwholesome manager, managers we call wicked, or I don't know. And I'm sure that by the time we get to managerial position, we get to see to an extent why they were like that. But amidst seeing all of those things, it's important that we are the best version, a better versions. Like we do better than these people that have led us, because they led us in the way they led us because they did not know enough. Now that we know better, I do hope that you and I will consistently do better, especially when managing our people. Thank you very much.
okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think today is a good day because I can tell that we actually managed the time and we all got value. Okay, so before we like we always do at the end of every section, we try to introduce the next section. We try to introduce it and make everyone. Okay, sorry, Obina has been struggling to rejoin. Oh my god. Sorry, let me type hold on. Please just a second. Let me okay, so a second please. A second. Okay, message is just okay. So the idea, like I was saying earlier, so we always try to announce the next topic which we'll be talking on. So it's essential that we all note that we should prepare for the next section. And I will always appreciate. I think it's high time we start something. We outline what we have learned. We try to make good use of it, and in our next meeting, we would like to get feedback on your experience, how you what you learned, how you were able to implement, and let's see the result. So we ensure that what we are doing, we're not actually wasting our time. It's actually working, and people are getting value from it. So in our next in the month of August, we'll be having a topic on digital identity security, because the system where we are, we realize that there have been a lot of fraud and phishing of information and social engineering. So the question is, how do we stay secured in this time, especially in Nigeria, the way Google, Facebook Meta, almost so many global organizations are beginning to blacklist Nigerians. So the question is, when they blacklist Nigerians, this means that these same Nigerians will start coming for their own people, because that is the best they feel they can to survive. So the question is, how can we maintain security? So we'll be looking at digital identity security, protecting the organization and your personal identity globally. So that will be our next topic, and you might have one or two questions. Everyone, we are all digital inclined. We are here because of the digital space and resources that have been made available by innovators. So in as much as we are trying to use this gadget, use these things, how do we stay secured? So I would want everyone to as well prepare for that day. Please, we ensure that you share the flyer. If you have not registered, if you joined via the Google Meet instead of joining the community, we also advise that you join the community. Lastly, I would like to talk about the convener of this platform. It's actually from Prestige Infotech Concept, and the idea is to impact people, like I said, build managers, not just managers to be able to take the space, be able to render excellent service. So that is the goal. And PIC is a resource provision organization, and we're into several stuff like project management, program development. We're into corporate branding, and there's a lot which you can check about us. We are both on LinkedIn, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and I don't think we are on Twitter presently, but you can just check for us. You can sign up to any of our to reach out to us to render any of our services to you. And we also sell some digital equipment like smart screen. We sell smart screen. We sell the interactive board for conference room. We also market digital podium for conferences. So if you have anyone within your team that really want to get this, then please reach out to us. Okay, so we are giving you value, and you can also give us value by referral. Don't worry, there's always commission for any referral. So most importantly, Prestige Infotech Concept is not only trying to make money, but we are trying to render services. So we have been rendering a lot of free services. Like we also render the free coding program for kids, where we teach them beyond coding. Now we have gone into other digital skills. And of recent, for this summer, there's a free program for kids, and the idea is to impact 5,000 children with digital skills. So please, you can reach out to us, and further information will be passed across. So at this junction, I want to say thank you everyone for being present, for listening to us, and for everything. So please, we also recommend that you share for other people to join our community, so that we go live, and we'll be able to cover more space and reach more people. Okay. In the community, we have some people that are not here on the meeting. So I know most of them are actually waiting for the playback video. But let's see how it goes. So at this point, I want to say thank you so much. We're not going to use beyond 1 hour, and I want to say at this junction, we'll call it a good evening, or rather good night, right? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. So, bye.
This month edition on the Manager's Conclave. This is a place where strategies are developed, leaders are created, and quality team players are birthed. Every organization wants to hire an individual who can take full responsibility on every action taken. Are you the best on your team? Can your organization place a bet on you and you won't let them down? The community includes many side events such as team building, lectures, discovery, networking, and much more. Everyone is welcome to join the community. Improve your skills for excellence and enhance your team bonding character. It all begins with you. Welcome to the Manager's Conclave.